All right, welcome in. It's a Monday edition of the Sports Huddle on SEMO ESPN Radio. 1220 AM, 93.5 on the FM dial and online at SEMOESPN.com. Eric Shawn in studio, inviting you to join us here in the Yuengling Sports Huddle studios. Yuengling is the iconic American lager, America's oldest brewery. Yuengling, you can hit us up on the EBOMD Huddle Hotline. That number, 573-334-1220. 573-334-1220, the Huddle Hotline, powered by EBOMD. And if you have not downloaded our free app, we invite you to do that. It is a free download by going to your app store and just search SEMO ESPN. It's got the Listen Live link, so you can listen wherever you go. It has the links to our contest and promotions, the latest breaking news, the latest radar weather forecast, and a link to our podcast page. It's free. It's the SEMO ESPN app. I'm flying solo today. How was your weekend? Mike Rennick will rejoin us tomorrow. I think it's just a 3-day work week for Rennick, so he will be in tomorrow. But in the meantime, you can hit the Huddle Hotline, powered by EBOMD, 334-1220. Another rough, and I mean rough, weekend for the Cardinals. It looked like they had a chance to salvage a game against the Yankees. Did not happen. You know, Thomas Saggese has been swinging the bat pretty well for the Cardinals, and that is big. But defensively, man, did it come apart in a hurry on Saggese in the ninth inning yesterday. It's a 4-4 baseball game. 2 errors by Saggese. His errors cost the Cardinals 4 unearned runs. Now you can say, well, if you're JoJo Romero, you still got to go out and get guys out. But, you know, when you commit 2 errors, those are 2 plays where you figure you're going to have 2 outs. Did not happen. The former Cardinal, Paul Goldschmidt, big double. He contributed in the ninth inning. In fact, he had 3 hits in the game. Got a standing ovation when he finally came to the plate for the first time. He has been battling some sort of an injury. Game 1 on Friday, he did make an appearance late as a defensive substitute in the 4-3 loss. Andre Palante giving up 4 early runs. Cards couldn't overcome that. And then Sonny Gray was terrible on a day where Max Fried, the ace of the Yankee staff, with Garrett Cole sidelined for the entire season, Max Fried was not good. Cardinals hit him well. And if you just got something decent from Sonny Gray, he'd been pitching well. I don't know what it is. You go look at Sonny Gray's numbers in his career. He's been a solid pitcher. He's had a pretty good year for the Cardinals, although you'd like him to be more consistent. But if you go back and look at the entire career of Sonny Gray, wherever he's gone, he's been pretty good, except when he played for the Yankees. He got traded in the 2017 season from Oakland, and in 11 starts for the Yankees, he was decent, 3.72 ERA, but then the next year, 2018, in a walk year for Sonny Gray, he had an ERA near 5. That is the worst earned run average of his career. And it was when he was in New York. And now he has a chance to go out there and pitch against his former team, where he took a lot of abuse from the New York media, had a chance potentially to close some mouths of New York media members, and instead it's a bedwetting from Sonny Gray. So you didn't get anything from your ace when you thought, hey, maybe be able to slow down the Yankees. Did not happen. And then yesterday, Miles Michaelis was fine, but you've got a 4-4 game going into the ninth inning. You gave yourself a chance until the defense collapsed, and that is one of the things Oliver Marmol talked about after the game. And, oh, by the way, in eight of the 9 games in this homestand, Cardinals went 3-6, started well, 2 of 3 from the Cubs, and then just spiraled out of control, losing 2 of 3 to the Rockies, losing all 3 to the Yankees, and you lose embarrassingly yesterday, unable to field your position at second base. That was unfortunate. But in 8 of those 9 games, Cardinals have been playing shorthanded. Guys banged up. Victor Scott, if you saw the play where he scaled the wall in right center field and almost made a home run robbing catch, twisted his ankle. The trainer and Oli Marmol went out to the outfield. He was stretching it out. He started running on it, said he can continue in the game. The ankle did not respond, so he's on the injured list. So the Cardinals had to make a roster move. We'll talk more about that in a moment. But in 8 of the 9 games, Contreras was down yesterday. Brendan Donovan down again. Nobody's going on the injured list except for Victor Scott. So they called up Nathan Church. We'll talk about him momentarily. But John Mozeliak is doing nothing to help Oliver Marmol out by bringing up some reinforcements. So he's playing shorthanded in 8 of the 9 games in the homestand. Here's Marmol after the game. Oh, by the way, he got ejected for the 5th time this season in the game, and he was justified in getting ejected. Talk more about that, but here's Ollie after the latest loss, which is the 5th consecutive loss for his team.
You take your best shot with what you have. Obviously, you don't have 2 of your best hitters in Donnie and Contreras in the lineup. That doesn't help. I think the guys that you do have in there competed well. There's some youthfulness in how some of these games played out, but at the end of the day, that's what it's going to look like at times. So you can get frustrated, or you continue to keep your head down and continue to teach and make sure that you are moving this in the right direction. I will say we can't afford to make mistakes, and I see that as a good thing. Like, we're not good enough to give them 4 outs. We're not good enough to walk people and pitch to contact. So you have to be that much more on point, which will make these guys better in the long run, because we showed it right there. We made a mistake, and they found a way to put a 4 spot on you, right? So your room for error is non-existent. There's teams that can get away with making a mistake, and then they got enough boppers that they can hit a 3-run homer, and it gets overlooked. We don't have that. You make a mistake, it's going to cost you, so you have to be that much more on point. So as these guys continue to gain experience and you see some of the youthfulness kind of go to the wayside and them perform at a higher level, then you do have a little bit more room there. And if you're used to just being on point and not having room for error, that serves you well in the long run. So that's where we're at right now.
Oh, he's basically saying we played with what we had, and unfortunately it wasn't good enough. And will John Mozeliak make any moves here to help Marmol and his bench? We don't know. Don't have any idea what John Mozeliak is doing, but he's letting Oliver Marmol flop in the wind, undermanned in 8 of the 9 games in the homestand. What the Cardinals did do, after putting Victor Scott II on the injured list because of the ankle, and we don't know how that's going to play out, they called up center fielder Nathan Church from Memphis for his big league debut. Now, Church, very quietly, has been putting up some pretty monster numbers down at AAA. So they promoted Nathan Church. Left-handed pitcher Anthony Veneziano was called up from Memphis, as Roddery Munoz went back down to AAA. Nathan Church, interesting player, because you talk about putting up big numbers. I mean, this guy in 53 games at Memphis, we're talking about 215 at-bats. First of all, let me point out, he only struck out 25 times in 215 at-bats. 335 batting average. It's a 400 on base, a 521 slug. His OPS 921. These are big numbers. 53 games. It's 11 doubles, 4 triples, 7 home runs for Church, 24 walks versus 25 strikeouts, and 9 steals. Now, he's only 9 for 13 in stolen bases, but you saw him run yesterday. Look pretty good. Now, he didn't do anything in the game. It was a 9-hole spot in the batting order. 0 for 4, did not strike out in the baseball game. So it'll be Nathan Church until further notice. Garrett Hampson, I mean, he came in late for Nootbaar, who apparently cramped up in the heat, but Nootbaar did have 3 of the Cardinals' 7 hits in the game. Cardinals only drew 3 walks in the game yesterday, but out-hit the Yankees 8-7, but the errors in the 9th inning proved almost fatal for the Redbirds. And Paul Goldschmidt helped contribute to that. And Paul Goldschmidt, of course, Cardinal fans who consider themselves the best fans in baseball, love themselves some returning players who wore Cardinal uniforms. And when Paul Goldschmidt was announced for his AB in the top of the 2nd inning, this was the reception.
And that will set the stage for Paul Goldschmidt in his return.
All right, pretty good. It would be louder if they actually had fans at the ballpark, right? I mean, so the last time that the Yankees were in town, 2023, the Sunday game against the Yankees at Busch Stadium, they drew 44,600. Announced ticket sales yesterday, 25,365. We've talked about it on this show. Cardinals are 19th in attendance. So that means that their overall attendance this year averages 28.8. Yesterday, it was 25.3 with the Yankees in town, a team that has Aaron Judge, a team that has 4, count them 4, former MVPs in their lineup, or at least on their roster, right? Aaron Judge, multiple MVPs, Giancarlo Stanton, Cody Bellinger, Paul Goldschmidt. Meanwhile, Oliver Marmol trotted out a lineup that had 0 All-Stars, let alone an MVP. Their lone All-Star, Brendan Donovan, who is likely not an All-Star without the rule in Major League Baseball, every team has to be represented at the All-Star game, but Donovan unable to go. So we just do not know what John Mozeliak is going to do in terms of helping Oliver Marmol and not handcuff his manager and make this bench even thinner. And yesterday, Oliver Marmol, for the 5th time now, he is now tied for the major league lead in managerial ejections with the guy who was in the other dugout. Nick Lentz was your home plate umpire yesterday, and when you start getting chirping out of both dugouts so far that it turns into an ejection for each dugout, The catching coach for the Yankees was ejected earlier in the game, and with the Cardinals up 4-3 in the 7th inning, Kyle Leahy on the mound, Nick Lentz, whose strike zone was putrid yesterday, just going by the umpire scorecard, and Oliver Marmol had seen enough.
Cardinals trying to salvage 1 of 3 against New York. That's up and away. And up and away. Grisham takes ball 4. That's 6 walks issued by the Cardinals in the game. 6 walks, 6 hits. Yet the Yankees have only scored 3 times, and all 3 runs came in the 4th inning. There's Rice. He's walked twice and has flied out once. Ollie, I think, just got tossed from the game. Nick Lentz said, come on out, and Oliver Marmol's going to go at it.
Well, you saw this one coming early here, Chip. There was both sides back and forth with Nick Lentz. Already 1 ejection on the coaching staff of the Yankees.
So when you're ejecting guys from both dugouts, that is a telltale sign your strike zone is trash. And it was trash yesterday. In the at-bat to Trent Grisham, who was called out earlier in the game on a pitch that was not a strike, benefited the Cardinals. In Grisham's at-bat, 2 pitches, according to Major League Baseball and their electronic strike zone, were clearly strikes, called balls. That was enough for Oliver Marmol to get his 5th ejection of the game. The ump scorecards are coming out here before too long, and Nick Lentz, who has had some good umpire scorecards this year, not good yesterday. And there are different entities that track the strike zone and track, okay, when a pitch is missed, what team did it benefit? Well, yesterday, 5 times it benefited the Yankees, 7 times it benefited the Cardinals. Ejections on both sides. And I think the upset of the day was that Boone did not get run. He and Marmol now each 5 ejections for the season. So after a brutal homestand, the Cardinals are getting ready to head out on the road. It is at Miami and at Tampa, so it's the Florida swing. And don't forget, with this Tampa Bay series, for whatever reason, there is no game on Saturday. Cardinals don't play Saturday. They play tonight, tomorrow, and Wednesday in Miami. Then it's Thursday, Friday, Sunday at George Steinbrenner Field in Tampa. Remember, the Trop is still being renovated from the hurricane. And so they're playing at the Yankees spring training home, George Steinbrenner Field. I don't know. I'm sure somebody knows. Someone listening to the show likely knows why they are not playing on Saturday, but they are not. So it's going to be Thursday, Friday, Sunday at Tampa Bay. So in the Miami series, it'll be Matthew Liberatore tonight. It'll be Liberatore, McGreevy, and then Wednesday, Andre Palante versus Sandy Alcantara. And Alcantara had one of his best games of the year when he pitched against the Cardinals in St. Louis. Then it's Sonny Gray, Michaelis, Liberatore, Thursday, Friday, Sunday in Tampa. And after this disastrous stretch of 5 consecutive losses, the Cardinals have a faint pulse. It's 5.5 back in the wild card. The Mets won last night. The Cincinnati Reds won yesterday. And why is that important? Well, it's because it snapped. It just proved, first of all, the Brewers indeed can lose a baseball game. A franchise-best 14-game winning streak coming to an end in Cincinnati. Now, as they have done, I don't know if you followed it over the weekend, where the Reds had the Brewers down 8-1, came back, won the game. They had a couple of extra inning games, including yesterday, where William Contreras, with the Brewers down a run in the ninth, hits a game-tying solo homer. Of course he did. And then they go to the 10th inning, and what do you know? The Brewers lost.
First pitch is by third. Reds win. Hayes hammers it down the line. Friedel scores. Majors this year yet to suffer a sweep defeat, and they break the Brewers' longest ever in-season winning streak.
How about that? The Cincinnati Reds are the only team. Now, we're talking, if you played a 2-game series, that counts, because the Cubs would be on this list. But the Brewers are the only team in baseball that is yet to be swept in a series this year. So the Brewers couldn't sweep them, but the 14-game winning streak is over for the Brewers. It just felt like they were never going to lose. They just find a freaking way to win games. So it's Cincinnati and the Mets, the two teams that are jockeying for that third wild card spot. So the Mets have won back-to-back games. They've got a 1.5-game lead over the Reds and a 5.5-game lead over the Cardinals, who are now 3 games under 500. And the Miami Marlins have proven that they are no walkover. Even though they're struggling right now, they did win a game yesterday. They've lost 7 of 10, but here come the Cardinals with their 5-game losing streak, which included back-to-back home losses to the Colorado Rockies. So as we sit here this morning, the New York Mets may be getting things headed back in the right direction. Interesting comments from New York City. WFAN is one of the heritage radio stations in New York City. Okay? One of their sports talk shows on WFAN includes sports talk host Brandon Tierney. And Tierney was a Yankees fan. All of a sudden brings this up. First year that Juan Soto is a New York Met. Yankees lost out, put a big offer on the table for Juan Soto. Soto's having a good year. He's got 30 home runs. He's having a good year. Got off to a slow start. His numbers with runners in scoring position are not where they would like, but there has been so much focus on the struggles of the Mets, and when you're the $765 million guy, you're going to take some bullets, right? Even though he's having a good year, Soto. But he doesn't hustle. He's not a good base runner. He's not a good outfielder. And so this guy at WFAN, his name is Brandon Tierney. Now remember, Juan Soto is 26 years old. One of the big reasons why he got such a big contract, because it's very rare for a player of his talent to be in free agency at such a young age. Broke into the big leagues with the Washington Nationals at age 19. But Brandon Tierney of WFAN questions whether Soto is really 26.
Now, most of you will not believe me. If you gave me a chance to put him on the Yankees right now for the contract he signed with the Mets or the contract that the Yankees offered, my answer would be now and will be forever. I'm good. Pass. I think he's great for the Mets. I think you got him at the right time. I think you needed that for all the things, Sal, and I talked about, perception, blah, blah, blah. I'm good. Now, I'm not good to the point where I'm feeling good about the Yankees team, and that's a Cashman thing. But 15 years of this, honestly, I don't. Does he look 26? Does he? No, I'm being honest. Are you doing the old Albert Pujols? I shouldn't even start this. This is going to get me in trouble. But does he look 20? When you're 26, you still have a youthful glow. Does he look 26?
Yeah, but he's been in baseball for like 7+ years. So I got to give him a little bit more of a.
Well,
remember when he came in, he looked a little bit more of a baby face. Now he's grown into his own.
Okay. I got it, and I can't prove it. But listen, in my own mind, while I don't know for sure, I think that there's a good chance. I'm thinking this whole deeper. I think that there's a good chance he's not 26. I'll say it, whatever.
I won't lie. I'm sure that there's plenty of baseball players that their ages are different.
Agreed. But we're talking about this one.
And height and weight as well.
There is a youthful glow when you're 26 years old. That's his evidence. There's no youthful glow with Juan Soto. What evidence does he have? Major League Baseball has put together an age and identity investigation department after it was found that many players had made their ages younger than they really were. And there was some speculation. Everybody loves a good conspiracy theory, so I'm sure there are New York fans that are jumping all over this thing from Tierney. There's no evidence. I mean, they've got an entire department which investigates these things and has caught this, and Major League Baseball saw it as a problem. People were talking about Albert Pujols. Remember that? Is he really the age that he says he is? Here's more from Tierney on WFAN about Soto. Is he really 26? No evidence.
Yes.
I mean, I'm just asking Joe. And I'm not trying to be contentious with you, man. I appreciate the pushback. But does he look, and I don't know, as a plastic surgeon or I'm not God, does he look 26?
I don't know his family line. You know what I mean? I don't know what his father looks like or his grandfather.
That's true.
And when he came up, and if you look when he came up, he did, and I think someone mentioned it before, he looked young.
I know.
He looked like a baby face when he came up, when he was, I don't know, when he came up, when he was 19.
Yep,
he
19.
Looked 19.
Yep.
He looked 19. He didn't look 25, and now he looks 36, which I'll be honest with you. But I do look, because I'm a huge Mets fan, and I look at body language with him and everything. I probably do a
Can't be loving it.
Myself. Not, yeah. He doesn't have any gray hairs. I mean, I know at 20,
gray hair.
30. Yeah, I get it, but but you're saying, how old do you think he is, in your opinion?
I don't know. It's like I don't even want to give you a number because it's just giving it more and more credence. I don't know. I mean, by the way, I don't think he's in his 30s. I'm not saying that.
Okay.
Maybe, close. Thanks for the...
So he laughs off the guy who said he doesn't have any gray hairs, after he just said at 26 he doesn't have that youthful glow. What are we doing? What are we doing at WFAN? I mean, are you that desperate to get your name out there? Does anybody have any evidence? And now is this going to catch the conspiracy theory world by storm? And are we going to start talking about whether or not Juan Soto is older than he really is? That he's not really 26 because of this guy? By the way, I'm not saying I don't think he's in his 30s. I'm not saying that. Maybe close. Come on, you got nothing. Just like they had nothing with Albert Pujols, which, if he was older than he really said that he was, would make what he did in the second half of his final season when he got to 700 home runs even more remarkable, that he didn't have a walker. You got to be kidding me. WFAN. That's a Yankee fan who still said, well, if you gave me another opportunity. He wanted Soto, but now that he didn't get Soto, now he's questioning whether or not Juan Soto is really 26 years old. I find it laughable. 334-1220, the EBO-MD Huddle Hotline number, 334-1220. So, over the weekend, a lot of NFL preseason football. The Michigan cheating scandal punishment came down. What did Paul Feinbaum think of the punishment and about Michigan Wolverine fans and all of this media hype surrounding a few series in a preseason game, and Shedeur Sanders, who, by the way, is injured and did not play for the Browns over the weekend. Scott Van Pelt of ESPN kind of roasts his teammates, the media, about the Shedeur Sanders hype. That's all straight ahead. It's the Sports Huddle, SEMO ESPN. Sports Huddle, SEMO ESPN, 1220 AM, 93.5 FM, and online at SEMOESPN.com. We're in the Yuengling Sports Huddle studios. Yuengling is the iconic American lager, America's oldest brewery. Yuengling. Here's our EBOMD Huddle hotline number, 573-334-1220. 573-334-1220. 1220, the Huddle Hotline, powered by EBOMD. So in baseball, there have been some great stories over the years. It seems like it dates back to Babe Ruth. When Babe Ruth went to visit some children in the hospital, and very famously, one of the children, whatever ailment it was, but he couldn't get out and play with all of the other kids. And he asked the Babe if he would hit a home run for him. And Babe Ruth said, I will, but you've got to promise me that one of these days you're going to get up and you're going to get out of that bed and you're going to walk and you're going to be with all of your buddies out playing ball. And the Babe hit the home run. That is how the story goes. Well, we had something similar in St. Louis with Joel Pozo, and we'll get you that in a minute, but it was interesting that the Babe did hit the home run, and then we've heard other stories about children in the hospital asking baseball players to hit home runs. But I'm not sure that anyone has ever asked a baseball player to hit 2 home runs, as Kramer in Seinfeld did to Yankees outfielder Paul O'Neill.
Mr. O'Neill?
Yeah.
Yeah, look, you don't know me.
I can give you an autograph there, but my pen's kind of screwed up, and you probably only get like half a P or so.
No, it's not that. See, it's about a little boy in the hospital. I was wondering if you could do something to lift his spirits.
Sure, I can help you there.
Yeah, well, I promised him that you would hit him 2 home runs today.
You what?
Yeah, you know, a couple of dingers.
You promised the kid in the hospital that I'd hit 2 home runs.
Yeah, well, no good?
No, it's no good. It's terrible. I mean, you don't hit home runs like that. It's hard to hit home runs, and where the heck did you get 2 from?
Well, 2 is better than 1.
That's ridiculous.
Oh,
I mean, I'm not a home run hitter.
Well, Babe Ruth did it.
He did not.
Oh, you're saying that Babe Ruth was a liar?
I'm not calling him a liar, but he wasn't stupid enough to promise 2.
Well, maybe I did overextend myself.
How the heck did you get in here anyway?
So a classic scene from Seinfeld. And O'Neill, it appeared to hit 2 home runs in the episode, but one was ruled a triple and an error. And so Kramer had a hard time getting the birthday card back. If you're a Seinfeld fan, you got it. So Joel Pozo, if you know his story, the portly catcher for the St. Louis Cardinals, who seemingly rarely strikes out, always puts the bat on the ball, and has been a tremendous pinch hitter for the Cardinals. So during this 9-game homestand, we'll give you the background on Joel Pozo and his son. Joel Pozo went to Mercy Children's Hospital in St. Louis to visit young kids. Now, his son, Paul Pozo, suffered a series of strokes after he was born in March of 2020, but has recovered. He's walked and talked ahead of when doctors thought that he would. And so Joel Pozo, with all of those medical bills because of the medical problems his son had for a while, Pozo and his family, his wife and child, lived in their car in a Walmart parking lot. Now he is in the big leagues. So he went to Mercy's Children's Hospital, and some of the kids dipped their hand in paint their hands in paint, and put their hands on his bat. And so he had handprints, and his son Paul did too. So he had a bunch of handprints, and he used that bat during this homestand, including yesterday when the game was tied 6-6 with the Yankees. I'm sorry, 3-3 with the Yankees in the 6th inning. He's got the children's hand-printed bat. And here's how that at-bat turned out for my guy, Pozo.
1 ball, 1 strike. Swing and a drive. Hammered toward left. Go, baby, go. It's gone. The magic wand of Joel Pozo puts the Cardinals in front.
We've talked a lot about that special bat. That's his son Paul on the knob of it. And that is a slider driven out of the ballpark by Joel Pozo. What a moment.
His 5th home run.
So the kids at Children's Hospital asked Pozo to hit them a home run. Pozo said he would. This according to the story by John Denton. And he steps up and hits a go-ahead home run. Cardinals took the lead in the 6th inning. Now, of course, Thomas Saggese gagged it up in the 9th inning. Pretty cool story with Joel Pozo and the hand-printed bat from the kids at Children's Hospital. Very cool. All right, we are actually in college football week now. We have college football this week, and we will have it every week through the College Football Playoff National Championship game. It starts Saturday. We've got 5 games on Saturday. Only one with ranked teams. Thursday or Saturday morning, it's an 11 a.m. game on ESPN. 22nd ranked Iowa State versus 17th rated Kansas State in Dublin, Ireland. And then as the day goes along, you got Idaho State at UNLV, Fresno State at Kansas, Sam Houston State at Western Kentucky, and then a 6:30 game, CBS Stanford versus Hawaii. You would think it'd be later than 6:30 if they're playing in Honolulu, which they are. So it'll be an earlier kickoff out on the islands. So we are into college football. Well, the punishment came down last week for the Michigan sign-stealing, cheating scandal, and all of the postseason money that they're going to forfeit apparently is going to be in the $20 million range, which I don't know how much that hurts a school like Michigan. They are not taking away victories. They are not vacating wins. They are not getting a postseason ban, and they are not losing their national championship. So apparently, in the Wild West of the new college athletics, now there isn't a whole lot you can do to lose your national championship, vacate wins, or get a postseason ban. And no chance that you get what SMU got in the 80s and the death penalty. So that was, and Sharon Moore already had a self-imposed 2-game suspension from the school. The NCAA tacked on one more game, but he doesn't have to serve that one until 2026. So it didn't seem like a massive thing for Michigan. I don't know how much the $20 million is going to hurt Michigan athletics, but the fans, if you have followed any sports talk radio or social media, I mean, people that are Michigan fans have crawled out of the woodwork to defend the University of Michigan and their cheating scandal. Paul Feinbaum weighed in on it late last week.
But it's just, what bugs me here, John, is the hypocrisy of the Michigan fan base. I mean, they are easily among the most despicable group of overzealot fans I've ever dealt with. And the fact that they tried to act like they have a legitimate national championship, they don't. The banners won't come down, the trophies will remain, but everybody knows they cheated like bandits. Everybody knows that this thing stinks to high heaven. Everybody knows Jim Harbaugh was a total fraud in everything he said.
So Feinbaum, as he normally does, pulls no punches with the University of Michigan, more so the fan base, and he has railed against Michigan's fan base for a while. He respects Harbaugh as a good coach, but at the same time, he walked away with a lot of stink on the program. And Shamar Moore is the man at the helm who is now having to pick up the pieces, serve what is going to be a 2-game suspension. I think it's like weeks 3 and 4. I guess they kind of decided one of those games. I think it's like Central Michigan and Nebraska are the games he's going to miss. I mean, he's not missing the Ohio State game. So Moore, and they did not have a good year last year, but they did get the national championship, no postseason ban. They get to keep the banner, and there are no vacated wins. So that's Paul Feinbaum's take on it. I think a lot of people feel the same way. We know how a lot of people in the media just loved a preseason outing by Shedeur Sanders for the Cleveland Browns last week. Now, apparently he's got some sort of an oblique. It looks like he will be back at practice this week. Dylan Gabriel ended up starting for the Cleveland Browns, who are hamstrung by injuries in the quarterback room. Shedeur Sanders played well in a preseason game, and the media freaked out about it. Scott Van Pelt being a little critical of his brethren in the media about how they responded to Shedeur Sanders' performance in a preseason football game. Here's SVP.
What a night. What a night for this one particular quarterback. 20 of 25, 252, threw for 2 touchdowns. Big-time stuff. Also ran for 1. You thought I was talking Shedeur. No. I was talking about Tanner McKee. Where did he go to school, Steve?
Stanford.
Uh-huh. He started against the ones, didn't he? Against Cincinnati? Didn't he play the beginning?
Yeah, I believe so.
My point is, no one talked about Cam Ward, who's the number 1 pick for a team that's going to start. Nobody talked about a guy that went 20 of 25, 252, and 2 touchdowns and ran for 1. In Philly's case, because they got a guy named Jalen Hurts, we know who's starting.
Mm-hmm.
But the Shedeur thing is the most predictable thing that media can do, because the fact that he slid to a third-day pick was this, why did it happen? Is it this? Is it that? Is it the other thing? Then it was like he's being set up to fail. Then he plays and, now it's the NFL looks stupid for not drafting this guy. It's like, my God. Preseason football is meant to do one of 4 things. If you think a guy's good and he plays well, C. If you think a guy's good and he plays bad, well, it's just the preseason and it doesn't matter. If you think a guy's bad and he plays well, well, it's just the preseason and it doesn't matter. And if you think a guy's bad and he plays bad, C. And that's all anyone did here. I thought he made some nice throws, and I thought he got an opportunity, and I thought the way he talked about it afterwards, hey, I got the opportunity, I got to do better. He handled it better than we did, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just so wild to watch people stumble all over themselves to turn the fact that he was being set up to fail into the fact that the NFL failed because they didn't draft him, and it's like, it was week 1 of preseason, man. We're pretty reasonable about how we digest most of this. Not that.
No.
Not that.
Nope. And I remain confident. I've always thought the world of the kid. I thought he took the shit kicking he got at Colorado.
Let me stop just for a second. Last year, how much did we talk about how much we loved the guy?
Yeah.
So we're not the ones that are the anti. We've been more pro Shedeur, I think, than most, going back to paying attention from the time go back to when he was at Jackson State.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Go ahead.
SVP and Stanford Steve on their podcast, and I think he makes very good points in talking about Shedeur Sanders. Can we calm down? We're going to have to see a little bit more. Will he be the starting quarterback? Many believe no. I mean, he was fourth on the depth chart. Dylan Gabriel threw a pick six over the weekend, and he got announcer jinx, by the way. The play-by-play, or no, it was the color guy. I don't remember. I had the play-by-play cut, but now I can't find it. One of them was talking about how he has done such a great job of taking care of the ball. The word ball was still dangling in a balloon outside of his mouth, and Dylan Gabriel immediately threw a pick six. So the announcer jinx was all over that one. And I think that SVP was right on track. It is overhype and overreaction because it is Shedeur Sanders. And had he gone out there and played poorly, well, it's just the preseason. But he went out and played well. Oh, my gosh. They're trying to hold him back. You see how great that he is. I don't know how good he is at the NFL level. We'll find out. He'll have an opportunity, you would think, although some in the media would have you believe that they are rooting against him in the Cleveland organization and they're going to try to hold him back. And why'd they draft him? Makes no sense to me. What does make sense is the Cardinals are on life support right now as they head down to Miami. Well, they're already in Miami. And I'm going to have to do some research about why the Cardinals are not playing on Saturday. How often do you see a Saturday being an off day? But that's the way it is for the Cardinals. So it'll be 3 against Miami, 3 at Tampa at George Steinbrenner Field, which is where Tampa Bay plays its home games. No game on Saturday if this schedule is correct, but it will be Matthew Liberatore. These are earlier games, by the way, 5:40 starting tonight. All right, Mike Rennick back tomorrow. We say hello to the radiant and ravishing Dawn Shawn. She had to go to a class this morning after her 12-hour shift. God bless her. But she is on her way back home as we speak. Stay tuned. Clinton and Friends coming up. Hope you have a great Monday, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.